we go again. I have good news. I've gotten 100 views. I can't believe it either. I want to give a great big thank you to everyone out there who has watched my videos and have supported me thus far. Thank you. Yes, I appreciate you. I know we're a little channel, but this is a humble beginning milestone for me. A notification telling me this popped up on my laptop as I was writing this script. Yes, I'm reading a script. Anyway, back to the video. Did you guys happen to notice that I didn't mention Solaris in the intro in the last video? Well, if you didn't, I did. Yeah, I noticed my own embarrassment. Solaris is a dark spirit, as I mentioned in the last video, bent on, yes, getting to the dreamscape to have everyone have super real nightmares fed from their darkest fears. So like spiders, heights, which is mine, flying chickens, sentient vending machines taking over the world, rocks rolling towards you, giant coins on top of the UN building, anything. Solaris appeared in human form in the last book, and this one, we are going to see why exactly. Also in the last video, I didn't go into depth why I like this series. I like it because it's based on a thing that we do nearly every night, then turns it into its own story, which is sort of unique. I mean, how many other books or movies are based on dreams? Anyways, this video is on the next one of these amazing books. Book number 2, 12, 2, 12, 2, 12. You know what, you decide. This book starts where the last one ended, as you can probably guess. Sam's pinned to the ground, nearly passed out from the lack of oxygen because of Solaris' grip. Sam inventively flips Solaris while on his back and flings him near the tracks. Solaris is knocked out, and the contact finds Sam and identifies that the unconscious Solaris isn't Solaris, but a copycat. The contact is a spy from the Academy who has been undercover in the Enterprise. He detonated the smoke bomb in the cafe and gave Sam a fake sapphire at the time because he knew he was being followed by the Enterprise, which explains the crossfire at the street. Sam gets the real crystal from the contact, because he actually got it, and escapes to the surface and meets his super rich, super smart friend Xavier. He was actually there when Sam was being kidnapped by the Enterprise. He offers Sam to give him a ride in his limo, and Sam finds that he needs to go to Egypt because it's in the Star of Egypt's name. Sam falls asleep in a limo, and on the way to Xavier's house, he has his next future-predicting nightmare. The book then switches to another part of the story, and I won't talk about that because if I did all the other parts, then these videos would be 15 minutes long, and that would just be plain boring. Hey, speaking of boring things, have you subscribed yet? If you haven't yet, please do. It will help my channel and will show me that you want more content like this. Ring the bell too, so you can be notified when these next videos come out. Anyway, I'm gonna start begging for subscribers and just get back to the book. Sam wakes up, this time, halfway up the Great Pyramid of Giza. Yes, on the Pyramid of Giza, the tall 3D triangle thing. Last night, they flew to Egypt in Xavier's dad's private jet. Xavier wakes up next to him, and Sam finds he accidentally broke the Star of Egypt. Oopsie. Inside is a golden key with the teeth and a star shape at the end, which is apparently why it's called the Star of Egypt. Sam sees an engraving on the shaft, but it's too small to see. Looking down the pyramid, there's a crowd of confused tourists and citizens and 2 police officers. They don't look too happy. Sam and Xavier climb down and are taken to a police station, interrogated, but thankfully, Xavier bribes the officers because he has like $500 on him, and the 2 are let go. Xavier says that his godfather, I don't even know what that is or what it means, has studied in Egyptian hieroglyphics and that he may be able to see what the engraving is. They head to his house and he shows that the key was made by Leonardo da Vinci, which confirms the suspicion that he made the vacuum machine. However, he can't read the engraving because it's a different type of hieroglyphics that he has never seen before. Xavier takes Sam back to the Academy's Swiss location. Yeah, Swiss. I got that part wrong last time, but not this time, thankfully, so he can get the next part of the vacuum machine. Sam follows his next dream to Rome, where this time, he's not supposed to find an object, but a person who will find the next part of the vacuum machine. Her name is Gabriella. She's a celebrity, and her birthday was in Sam's nightmare. Sam's going there as a reporter so he can get a chance to talk to her about her dream. Laura goes with him again as his partner just to keep an eye out for Enterprise agents. Laura splits up with him and Sam meets up with Gabrielle after her birthday concert, and she says he can interview her at her birthday party. She invites him into her limousine and the driver acts as if he was a former NASCAR driver. I can say that, right? I can say that? I can say NASCAR? Anyway, the two get to the birthday party and they head to Gabriella's bedroom upstairs so she can be interviewed. His cover is blown because the real magazine writer has arrived at Gabriella's house to interview her. Sam quickly gives Gabriella the basics of the whole saving the world thing, and she says that she dreamed this night and that she knows some pieces of what happens next. I didn't mention this before, but the Academy has something called a dream reader, which allows you to go through your dream again to see anything you missed or forgot. They also have a portable version, which Sam has, and he puts it on Gabriella. She revisits her dream, where she and Sam are in a library searching for a book which might contain the next part of the vacuum machine. She finds it, and she splits up with Sam. Man, there's a lot of splitting up in this series. And she meets Solaris, and then her dream ends. They head out of the bedroom to get to the library that was in her dream, and two security guards burst into the main area downstairs where the party is, saying there's a security breach. They suddenly slump forward with darts in their backs. And no, they're not poisoned. Two Enterprise agents run through the door as Sam spots a fast way down. A giant sponge cake made to look like the Leaning Tower of Pisa. Sam and Gabriella jump into the sponge cake. They run to the garage, and there's a red Maserati, I think that's how you say it, which is Gabriella's present from her dad. Gabriella quickly drives out into the streets with Sam in the passenger seat, where she drives better and crazier than her limo driver. No offense, limo driver. She drives as well because she claims to play racing games. Those are some educational racing games. She speeds to the Vatican, with black Enterprise cars racing behind them and shooting at them. And no, it's not darts this time. Finally losing them behind some slow buses, they arrive at the Vatican. That's how you say it, right? And sneak inside. They head into the section where they keep their rare and forbidden books and look for the book. They find it in a glass case. It's a large red book and has a lock on the front that says XII. That's 12 in Roman. They break the glass and run into Solaire. Nope, it's just a priest in black. He tells them to leave in French, protestingly, but Gabriella tells them that they're here because of good old destiny, which convinces the priest, and he tells them to take a passage behind a bookcase and that he will distract the Enterprise agents. They head over to the bookshelf where the secret tunnel is, and Sam gets pinned to a wall by a net that one of the agents launched. He barely escapes, and they run into another bookshelf. They start pulling books out at random, and finally, the bookshelf opens and they rush inside the secret tunnel. They come across a river that leads to the outside. Agents close behind, Sam and Gabriella climb into nearby gondolas and paddle to the end. An agent fires their net gun, missing the two, and hitting a cracked support beam above them. They narrowly escape the falling rocks, and the cave collapses behind them, blocking the agents from going any further. They paddle for a few more minutes and finally come to the end. There's a ladder that leads upwards, and past that is a manhole. They end up in Campo de Fiori, and examining the book, they find the lock has the same shape as the Star of Egypt's key. Sam unlocks it, and inside is a box, which has a smaller book and a map inside. They decide that they need to get these back to the Academy for deciphering, and the agents reappear behind a nearby house. Two Academy vans pull up beside them, and they both jump inside one, drive to the next location, the Pantheon, because it's marked on the map. When they arrive, they and Laura jump out of the van. Yes, she was with them in the van, and they head inside. And Solaris is there, the real one! He is, because he raises his palm and shoots a beam of fire at them, and they duck behind a pillar. In Sam's first nightmare, Solaris is able to summon fire at will. They dart out of the building and duck behind the houses and through narrow alleyways. They dash through a nightclub, Solaris still after them. They head again to the Pantheon, heading for the back portion. Remembering her dream, Gabrielle pulls the carpet off from underneath them, revealing a brass crest with the same star-shaped keyhole as a book. She unlocks it with Sam's key, and instead of something opening, the gear that surrounded the keyhole came free. Solaris appears again, and Sam draws him from the rest of the group, providing a diversion. Fights him, distracting him. He figures out that this Solaris is also an imposter by disconnecting a gasoline pipe that once connected to his palm where a flamethrower was. Sam barely wins by knocking Solaris out. The others regroup while Sam tries to find his way back to them using a motor scooter. Now, I haven't mentioned this either, but just like the Enterprise has agents, Academy has guardians from different nations, so like Egypt, Germany, Swiss, and many more. A black van stops Sam when he's on the road, and German guardians hop out of the vehicle. Think Sam saved? Nope, they draw their dart guns and aim at Sam, and the story ends on a cliffhanger! Again! What a coincidence! Who could have foreseen this? Don't answer that question! I'm yelling way too much to get my point across! That's the second book reviewed. Please sub for the next one if you want to see it. And ring the bell to be notified when I review it. That's it for this video. And remember, drink your daily dose of vinegar. Bye!